We'll be filling up this gap till we reach the third picot of the two end loops present in the gap here. But what we'll actually be doing is we'll be leaving out this third picot stitch of the 16 triple crochet loops present at both the ends of this gap present at the curve here. In this curved part of our tablecloth here, what we'll be doing, we'll be leaving out the third picot stitches of both the end loops here. So that done. Now let's begin filling up this small gap here. And here too, we will be leaving out the third picot stitches of both these loops. So let's begin with a slip knot. Now this is a very small gap, so it'll hardly take any stitches to fill up. So now we begin here. You can see these two picots, the first picot of this loop and the first picot of the next loop are very close to each other. So what we'll be doing is we'll be making single crochet on each of these picots, but there'll be no gap made using chain 3s. So slip knot done. Now put your hook through first picot and make a slip stitch like so, chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch like so. Now as these two picots are placed very close to each other, so we won't be making a chain 3 loop between them. So single crochet on the next picot followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and a single crochet on the next picot stitch, chain 1, turn your work and a slip stitch in that chain 4 loop followed by chain 1 and single crochet in the same loop followed by chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and a single crochet in the first single crochet stitch like so. That done, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and a single crochet on the next picot stitch like so, followed by chain 1 and turn your work and a slip stitch in that chain 4 loop followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in the same loop followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the remainder part of the chain 4 loop of the previous layer of our mesh. That single crochet done. And as you can see, we've filled up our gap. It was a very small gap, so it hardly took 2 layers of mesh to fill up. So this small triangular gap is done. So what we'll do is we'll lock our thread and cut it off. Now that done, let's fill up the next gap here, this right angle triangle gap here. Let's begin with a slip knot. That done. And now put your hook through the picot at its smallest opening. So slip stitch in that picot, chain 1 and single crochet in the same picot stitch followed by a single crochet in the next joined picot stitch like so, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a single crochet on the next picot stitch followed by chain 1 and turn your work and a slip stitch in that chain 4 loop followed by chain 1 and single crochet and chain followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the first single crochet stitch. That done, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and a single crochet in the next picot stitch. Now as you can see, these two picot stitches that is the last picot stitch of the previous loop and the first picot stitch of the next loop, are placed very close to each other. So we'll be making a single crochet on that picot stitch as well, leaving no gap between them. Now that done, chain 1, turn your work, and a single crochet on that same stitch. That done, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and a single crochet in the next chain 4 loop, like so, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the remaining part of the chain 4 loop of the previous layer of mesh. So single crochet on that loop, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and a single crochet on the next picot stitch, followed by chain 1, turn your work, and a slip stitch in that chain 4 loop, followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in that same loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 4 and a single crochet on the next picot stitch, like so. That done, chain 1, half done. Now let's finish making the rest of it. So chain 1 done. Now turn your work and a slip stitch in that chain 4 loop, followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in the same loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, like so, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the remaining part of the chain 4 loop of the previous layer of our mesh. So we'll single crochet in that remaining loop, followed by chain 4. We'll make a single crochet in the next picot stitch, like so. And that done. As you can see, these two picot stitches are placed together. So I'll be making a single crochet in the next picot as well. That done, chain 1 and turn your work and a single crochet on that first single crochet stitch, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 4 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3, single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the remaining part of the chain 4 loop of the previous layer. Single crochet in that loop. That done, chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and a single crochet on the next picot stitch, like so. Now this picot stitch, as you can see, is the third picot stitch here. So that done. So here we've filled up this end of our gap. Now we have to fill up the opposite end. So for that, chain 1, turn your work, slip stitch in that chain 4 loop, chain 1, followed by a single crochet in the same loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and a single crochet on the next picot stitch, like so. And with this we finish filling up this right angle triangle gap. Now that done, so our last single crochet done. Now lock our work and cut it off. Now that done, this is what our filled gap looks like. So let's take a look at what we've finished till now. This curved part of the tablecloth, we filled this major gap here, and we'll filled these two small ones, these two small gaps here, and these same gaps, this and this, are present at the opposite end of this major gap here. So this, what we've done here, we'll be doing the same thing here at this part, and what we did just now, this filling up this triangle is present on the other side of this huge curved gap as well. So we'll be repeating these, we'll be repeating this on the other side here, and we'll be repeating what we've done here, this here. So let's finish filling up these two gaps, that is this small gap and this triangle gap. Now here the two gaps are done, so this curve is done. You can see the bigger gap, the gap at the curve, and the two small gaps, the same two small gaps on either side of this bigger gap here. So that done. Now this curve is on the other side as well. Whatever we've done from the beginning till now, we'll repeat this on the other side of the same curve as well. So we'll repeat everything from this to this and to this on the other side on the other side as well. So here I'll show you the bigger picture. So as you can see, we've made this part of our oval curve here. So we've made the gap, the two sides. So we'll be repeating everything that we've made in this side of the curve at the opposite side of the curve as well. So let's finish making this side as well, and then we'll make the center part of our curve. Let's finish filling up the other side of the curve as well. So the other side of the curve is done. Now this is what our tablecloth looks like, with both the sides of one curve of our oval tablecloth is done, and this is what it looks like. Now let's finish making this middle rectangular section of this oval curve. Now here, as you can see, the space at the inner part is same as at the outer part as well. Let's begin by making a slip knot. Now that done, so select a joined picot at one of the ends and put your hook through one of the picots and make a slip stitch like so. Now that done, chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. Now we'll be making one single crochet in the next joined picot stitch as well. That done, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and single crochet on the next picot stitch like so. Again chain 3, single crochet on the next picot stitch like so. Now that done, again chain 3, single crochet in the next picot stitch. That done. Now here, as you can see, these two motifs, these two picots are very close to each other, but won't be doing what we've done before. Here we'll be keeping a gap of 3 chains, because if we don't make a loop of chain 3 between these two, our mesh will be flat at the center. So to avoid that, we're making a loop of chain 3 between these two picots. So chain 3, single crochet on the next picot stitch, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next picot stitch, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next picot stitch. Now here we've reached the end stitch here. Now here too we'll be making chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we'll make a single crochet on the next picot stitch. So here you'll find there are 2 picot stitches joined to each other, so we'll be making 1 single crochet in each picot stitch like so, 1 and 2. Now that done, chain 1 and turn your work. So as I've told you before, we'll turn ourselves because it's a huge project, and a single crochet in the same stitch. That done, again chain 3 and single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, again chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, again chain 3, single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet the next chain 3 loop, again chain 3, single crochet on the next chain 3 loop, chain 3 and a single crochet on the first single crochet stitch like so. Now that done, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and a single crochet on the next picot stitch. As you can see, these 2 picots are also placed near each other. This is the 5th picot stitch of the first loop here, and this is the first picot stitch of the second loop here. These picots being very close to each other, we won't be making a chain 3 here, but a single crochet. Now that done, again chain 1, as we don't want to widen the length of our triangle gap here. Now that done, chain 1 done, turn your work and a single crochet on that same stitch, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the chain 4 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, again chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, again chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, again chain 3. So we'll be making these chain 3s and single crochets till we reach the opposite end of our rectangular gap here. So now we've reached the other end of our rectangular gap here. So now the last single crochet done, and now we'll be making a single crochet in the next picot. So for that we'll be making our chain 4 loops, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now that done, single crochet in the next picot stitch like so. Now as you can see, these two picots are placed together, so we'll be making a single crochet in that picot as well without making our chain 3 loop. So single crochet done, chain 1, turn our work and a single crochet on the next single crochet stitch, and a single crochet on the next single crochet stitch done, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and a single crochet in the chain 4 loop followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. So we'll follow this pattern of chain 3s and single crochets till we reach the chain 4 loop present at the opposite end of our triangular gap here. So let's finish making our chain 3s and single crochets. We've reached the opposite end here. Now for the next layer of our mesh here, let's make chain 4 loop and a single crochet on the next picot stitch. Now that done, chain 1, turn your work and a slip stitch in the chain 4 loop, chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. With this, the next layer of mesh begins. Now chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. So let's repeat of chain 3 and single crochets till we reach the opposite end of the gap. Now we've reached the opposite end of our rectangular gap. Now let's finish this layer of mesh with chain 4 and a single crochet in the next picot stitch here, followed by chain 1 and turn your work and slip stitch in that chain 4 loop followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in the same loop followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Now let's repeat this pattern of chain 3s and single crochets till we reach the other side of our rectangular gap here. So now we will be filling this gap up till we reach third picot stitch of the second loop of our lace square motif on both the sides. So till here, okay. So I forgot mentioning before, but we'll be filling up till we reach the third picot stitch of the outer loops of our square motifs. Now we've reached the other side. So here, as you can see, remaining part of our chain 4 loop of the previous layer. So in this remaining part we'll be making a single crochet. Now that done, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a single crochet on the next picot stitch. Now this picot stitch, as you can see, is the third picot stitch. So this is where our mesh will end. Now chain 1 done, turn your work and slip stitch followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in the same loop followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Let's follow the pattern of chain 3s and single crochets till we reach the opposite end. Now we've reached the other end. After our chain 3, we'll be making a single crochet in the remaining part of the chain 4 loop of the previous layer, like so. Now that done, we'll be making chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now here, as you can see, the next picot stitch is the third picot stitch of this outer loop. So here, with this single crochet, we finish filling our rectangular mesh here. So that done, we've locked our thread and cut thread. Now with this, we finish the rectangular gap here. Now with this, we finish our curved end of our tablecloth, and this same thing will be repeating on the opposite side as well to finish the curved end there too. Ends are done. Now comes the easy part, that is the sides. The sides are, so it won't be a problem there. So they look, now starting from the curved end here, the sides look like, these are straight and rectangular in shape. As you've seen, these I've already made, and I'll show you one on camera. So let's begin with the sides. Let's begin with a slip knot and select any one of these two ends of the joined bicords here, and put your hook through one of bicords here like so, and slip stitch. Now slip stitch done, chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch like so. Now again we'll make a single crochet in the next bicord stitch of these two joined bicord stitches. Now that done, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and single crochet on the next bicord stitch like so, followed by chain 3 again, and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch like so, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch like so. Now here, between 5th bicord of this loop here and the first bicord of the next loop here, now here between these two usually there's no chain 3 loop, but in this rectangular gap here we will be making a chain 3 loop so that the center doesn't sink in. So chain 3 and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch like so, followed by chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch like so, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch like so, and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch of these two joined bicord stitches. Now that done, chain 1 and turn your work, and a single crochet on the same stitch, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Now we'll follow this pattern of chain 3s and single crochets till we reach the opposite end of this rectangular gap. So let's finish making our chain 3s and single crochets of this layer of mesh. Reached the opposite end, so let's make the last chain 3 loop of this layer of mesh and a single crochet in the first single crochet stitch we've made. Now that done, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and a single crochet on the next bicord stitch like so. Now this is the 5th bicord stitch of this loop here, and the next bicord is the first bicord stitch of the outer loop of this square motif here. So what we'll be doing is we'll be making a single crochet in that bicord stitch as well, as both the bicord stitches are placed very close to each other. Now that done, let's begin the next layer of our mesh with a chain 1 and a single crochet in the same stitch like so, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet on the chain 4 loop like so. Now that done, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Now we'll repeat this pattern of chain 3s and single crochets in the next chain 3 loops till we reach the opposite end of this rectangular pattern. So let's finish that. Now we've reached the opposite end of this rectangular gap as well. Now here in this rectangular pattern as well, we'll be filling up this gap till we reach the 3rd bicord of the second loop of both our square motifs. So here too, the third picots. So till here we'll be filling up our gaps. So here the last single crochet done, followed by chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and a single crochet in the next picot stitch. Now that stitch is the last picot of this loop of 12 triple crochets here, and this picot is placed near to the first picot of the next loop. So what we'll be doing is we'll be making a single crochet in that picot stitch as well. Now that done, chain 1, turn your work, and a single crochet in the same. Now with this, the next layer of our mesh begins with chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 4 loop, followed by chain 3 again and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Now that done, we'll repeat this pattern till we reach the opposite end of our rectangular gap. So let's finish making the chain 3s and the single crochets. We've reached the opposite end. Let's finish this layer of mesh with chain 4 and a single crochet on the next picot stitch. Now the next layer begins with chain 1 and a slip stitch in that chain 4 loop, followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in the same chain 4 loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Now that done, we'll be repeating this pattern of chain 3s and single crochets till we reach the opposite end here. So let's finish making those. Now we've reached the opposite end. So let's finish this layer of mesh with chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and a single crochet in the next picot stitch. Now that done, let's begin the next layer of mesh with one chain and turn your work and a slip stitch in the chain 4 loop, followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in the same chain 4 loop, followed by chain 3, 1, 2 and 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop, like so. That done. Now let's repeat this pattern of chain 3s and single crochets in the next chain 3 loop till we reach the opposite end. So let's finish that. Now we've reached the opposite end. Now we'll be making chain 3, and here in the remaining part of the chain 4 loop of the previous layer we'll be making a single crochet. Now that done, let's make chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now that done. Now here you can see this is the third picot stitch of this outer loop of our lace square motif here. Now we'll be making a single crochet in this picot stitch with chain 1 and a slip, turn your work and a slip stitch in the chain 4 loop, followed by chain 1 and a single crochet in the same loop, followed by chain 3 and a single crochet in the next chain 3 loop. Now that done, now we'll be repeating this chain 3, we'll be repeating these chain 3 and single crochets in the next chain 3 loop till we reach the opposite end of our rectangular gap. So let's finish making those chain 3s and single crochets. Now here we've reached the opposite end, so we'll finish this up with chain 3 and a single crochet in the remaining part of the chain 4 loop of the previous layer of mesh. So that single crochet done, followed by chain 4. With this single crochet in the third picot stitch, we finish making the mesh. Now we've locked the thread and now cut it off and pull thread through. Now with this we finish making the this rectangular gap present at the sides. Now the sides will have numerous rectangular gaps depending upon the length of your tablecloth. So we'll be repeating this triangular on the number of triangular gaps present at the sides. Let's finish filling up the rest of the triangular spaces present on both the sides of our tablecloth. Now all the gaps filled at the periphery of our tablecloth using free-form mesh pattern. This is what our tablecloth looks like at the moment. Now this is the curved edge of the oval tablecloth, and now these are the straight sides. Now again we've reached the curve, and other side. So now the gaps are done. Now we'll encapsulate our tablecloth in two more layers of mesh. So all the stitches are covered up. We'll be making these 2 layers of all around mesh so that every picot stitch is covered in the tablecloth. So let's begin. Close to each other, so